homie. Oh, I have somebody. Who is the poor unfortunate soul? What's going on, Ninja? I was actually about 20 feet behind the camera with my stick trying to do old drill manual stuff from boot camp in the Marines, like port arms, attention, right shoulder arms, left shoulder arms. And I haven't done that in over 2009 I got out, so geez, man. And, that's awesome. Reliving the glory days. I did see Homie the Blue Heron fly by about 5 minutes ago. But I think he's out in the creek ahead where I go on my walks. Oh yeah, dude, thank you. I always say, well, thank you. It was an honor to serve. You know, it was, I served with some of the best. It was the best decision I ever made. I'm gonna walk away real quick and get my water. It's actually a lot colder than I thought it was, so I didn't dress the best, but I'm warm enough. I actually have a gloves and hat on for once. That's a squirrel. That's a phenomenal show, even though it's about, you know, the other shade of green. Have you seen the movie Taking Chance? By chance? The movie's called Taking Chance. It's with Kevin Bacon. If not, I highly recommend it. Oh, and I don't know, it used to be available on YouTube, but I think they pulled it off. Because I think they the people who made it monetized it now. I'm not sure how all that works, but if you get a chance, correct, Taking Chance. It's, I would say, the best Marine Corps movie that has absolutely nothing to do with war. It's not a combat orientated movie, even remotely, but it's very deep. But the other one is called The November War, and it's about Marines in Fallujah. And it's just phenomenal. The November War and Taking Chance. The November War is a longer, more of a documentary type thing. So, I was thinking about this the other day. I tried to. I'm not very artistic or abstract, so I try to be when I can, in ways I can. And I try to draw comparisons to the way I see life in a very basic way to the way you can relate that to nature. And what is that up there? Seagull? Yeah, it looks like it's just a seagull. I don't talk to people a lot. I talk more in my streams than I do to actual people. But I was thinking about this the other day, where whether it's a sunrise or a sunset or just the nicest day, And this could be my own arbitrary opinion, which I get, but the sunrise and the sunset, I'll try to make a video of pictures that I take, but specifically those 2 times, but I'd argue even the night sky, the midday sky, without clouds, it looks nice, but you don't get context and nuance and the color variations from the different light levels hitting clouds at different levels through different diffused levels of light and through the ozone and so on and so forth. And what I'm saying is, I think sometimes life is similar, where everything good, positive, whatever, has to be taken in contrast to not something negative necessarily, but just something that contrasts it. And life is a little bit better when you have, I won't say bad sprinkled in, but you deal with adversity and challenges. And similarly, the sky is so much more enjoyable. Like now, when you see this gray, almost shade of nothing, and a moment or two, or however long it takes nature to do its thing, these clouds are going to pass, the sun's going to come out, and it's just going to be beautiful. Whereas it's a completely different scene than it being a clear sky by itself and the sun just rising, because even in that, the view is a lot more plain and bland than if you add clouds in. Like I say, it's almost interesting that the cloudier days visually are more beautiful. And oh no, that wasn't the kingfisher. I heard the kingfisher out here earlier. Everything's better with a little bit of contrast, adversity, diversity, however you want to word it, in the true sense of the word at least. In fact, I'm just going to do a quick, like, this is what I love about the sky, especially in Michigan. You got it goes from these shades of grays to blues, and I can't go all the way around. Oh, let me move that. There we go. I mean, and then that. And like I say, sometimes you just have to wait and let it happen, look for it. Absolutely. And I often, I have a philosophy. It's pretty basic, but I think it out a little more than I do or have to or should, about seeking balance between the present, which I call the moment, the past and the future and all that. But the moment, oh, some mallards just flew by. The interesting thing about the moment is you can be in the moment, but be so lost in the moment that you're not really in the moment. You're not in the past or the future. And I say that like now, I could be sitting out here staring at my phone doing social media, or I could be like everybody else for the most part, locked inside their houses right now. It's Sunday, and most of these people are just not really doing anything. And when you're doing that, like, to me, what I consider, yeah, it's just a squirrel. Sorry, I'm always looking for birds and stuff, and now I'm just seeing squirrels. But my point is, similar to now, how you can be looking at something that you think is the moment, but it's literally obscuring or hiding or taking your attention away from what is the moment. You know, the moment is not my device and my phone or my TV screen. I don't, you know, like I say, I could look down right now and be fascinated at the bugs I'll find right now. If I look at the water, the sky, I say there's different, and my mind goes to just like there's two different kinds of squirrels over there. right now. Now, just for, like I say, we're over, come on, turn in the tree over there, no big deal. But this is just where my brain goes as someone who's autistic and tends to think things out in steps. Absolutely, you'll blink and you miss the moment. Growing up, and there's another one over to my left. I grew up in a city. If you're at a computer or phone, check it out on a map. Look up Hamtramck, Michigan. It's smack dab in the middle of Detroit. It's about 2 miles wide by 2 miles wide. And growing up, I've only seen in there brown squirrels. Now out here, they have gray and black squirrels again, and that's only about 30 miles away from where I'm at right now, without the I at the end. It's a very odd spelling at the end. It's like Hamtramck, Hamtramck. And and it's funny. Similarly with roly-polies or pillbugs or isopods. Growing up, I used to play with them and all that, but in the city, they only had a species called Armadillidium vulgare, and I don't see any of them out here in the woods. I only see Porcellio scaber, the Oniscus acellus, blah blah blah. The point is, I find it odd that you could have these little evolutionary niches or natural niches, however you want to view it, and I just get I'm fascinated at that. Similarly to how when I was out in California, the squirrels are different out there. They have less hair on their tails. They look more like chipmunks in the way they look, but they still conduct themselves like regular squirrels. It's just interesting that, again, those are things where most people just see a squirrel, if they even see a squirrel. But most people are out here doing their cell phones, just taking their dog out to do what they need to do, taking the garbage out and rush back in. They don't enjoy it. They don't stop and look. That's a big thing with me and my children is I don't want to instill in my kids that social media and devices are bad. Similarly, I think you had left by then, but yesterday Wally and I were talking about this, where, I'll have people tell me social media is bad, cell phones are bad, devices are bad while they're talking to me on their cell phone, and it's not good or bad. You can be controlled by social media, and you can control social media and use it what it should be used for. It's an interesting dynamic. I don't want to tell my kids don't do things. I want my kids to understand the consequences, risk assessments, moderation, deferral of gratification, things like that. Like, not just, I say that very often, parents spend so much time just telling their kids what to do and what not to do instead of instilling principles in them. And then when they get to the point the parents are not around, they're just used to doing what they're told, not thinking about things, weighing consequences, risk assessments on spending, budgeting, and things like that. Mom just said don't spend, or mom said leave this much money in my account and don't spend this. Mom said do this with my car. Dad said make sure I do this. Instead of instilling the concept of being aware of the things you need to maintain. Ooh, and it's starting to get nice out. I don't want you to miss that. I love doing time lapses of stuff like this, but I can't because my GoPro, which sucks and I hate and is a piece of garbage, in weather like this would turn off in about 20 minutes. So I can't even do time lapses on my GoPro and stuff like this. It's a bummer. But when the weather, and then my GoPro, I hate more because in the summer, not even in the summer, in spring and fall, if it's about 62 degrees or over, it overheats and frustrates me. So it's annoying. But if you get a chance to go on my back in my channel, you may see some interesting time lapses, because what I will do, because my GoPro sucks and is a piece of garbage and I hate it, is I will put it on a stand, but I'll go out in the creek to my left and lower it so basically the base of it is in the water about a half an inch, so it naturally cools it and will not allow it to overheat. That's what I have to do to be able to use my GoPro in the summer without it overheating. But the nice part about that is I get some really nice shots. There's one you may see of Homie the blue heron literally flying so close over my GoPro you can hear the whoosh. It's really awesome. So like I say, I take the good with the bad, I guess. When life hands you a GoPro that sucks and you hate it and is a piece of garbage, you put it in the water and stop it from overheating. That's my philosophy. Something like that. I don't know if I can make lemonade out of a GoPro. If I had another camera to replace it, I would like to try. My dream would be to take like the GoPro out to the gun range and shoot it. But I want to at least be able to use it. Yeah, that's one of the reasons it's so cold. It's a lot windier than I would prefer. Sorry about that. It's odd. It's not a massive breeze or gust. It's just constant. In fact, just to show you a little bit. You can see the reeds moving. Just again, it's kind of cutting. I always dress in layers, and it's going through most of my layers. And it's a lot colder than I thought. Like it's supposed. I always brag about how not smart I am, and it's gonna be about 50 today. And I'm so excited to get out in the 50-degree weather that I forget that, you know, well, right now it's about 20 or 30, but that wind is just enough to be cut, especially on my neck. I did not hear one. I don't know what you heard. I don't know if you saw or thought you heard, but I didn't see or hear one. If so, that'd be awesome. That's one thing I've never seen in Michigan. I don't know. I heard them before, but I've not seen an owl. From what I understand, I think it's a bag, I'll bet. It has to be. If it's what I'm thinking. Let me see. That. Or tell me where to move from here. That bag is making me mad. It's just high enough where I can't really reach it with my stick to pull it out of that tree. Yeah, sorry, that's just a bag. It's about 20 feet up. It's annoying. I hate the garbage out here. I think the other day, in fact, that day I walked away from my camera, me and my neighbor were just picking up garbage for that whole time. We picked up, I want to say, 3 bags collectively. That's a squirrel. Another seagull up there. Oh, that's a blue jay. Where is that? Yeah, maybe I'll call the fire department and get this bag out of the tree. I want to actually get decent. Like I say, I want to one day be not bad at photography and videography, because I'm bad at it now. I think that's a woodpecker. If you just heard that trill. Where are you at? Where are you at? Oh, there you went. Can I get you? There's a woodpecker there somewhere. Where did you go? There goes that blue jay. That's the mallard. Man, there's blue jays now. That woodpecker somewhere. Where did you go? I think he just flew off from the left or right side. Maybe not. You blink and you miss it out here. Look at now again, just those clouds look phenomenal. Cloud watching has become one of my favorite things, both in terms of just recording, viewing, watching, thinking. Time lapses of them are amazing. It's like nature's painting me a moving picture. I love it. Oh! Is that someone's dog? That had to be a German Shepherd, I hope. Because if not, that was a wild-looking coyote. Where did you go? That had to be a German Shepherd. But come here, coyote. Hey, coyote. Yeah, I finally found you. Hey. Hey. Coyote. Coyote. Aquí, aquí. Se hablo un poco. That is a big coyote. I thought that was a freaking German Shepherd. Holy cow. That is eerie to me. I've not seen a coyote that large in the middle of the freaking day. I want to put my waders on and go across. That kind of makes me uneasy. That is a massive coyote. Holy cow. I hear them out here on occasion, but I've not really seen them. But that is a huge coyote. Man. Sorry if I was screaming right into the camera about that. I do kind of apologize. I didn't take that into account. And I didn't see any of the comments either. I don't mind. I have a 9mm in my knife and my stick. I just, the neighbors have dogs. And in fact, I'm going to tell you something. Well, again, it's not, I've seen coyotes before. I've seen that. That was a massive I thought it was, I'm not joking. So I first saw it over in that, sorry, right there, and I could have sworn it was a nicely colored big German Shepherd. I would have bet money. That's what I said. I thought it was maybe a neighbor's, and it lopped off over kind of to the path you see to the right around the trees like a dog. So I thought, okay, it had to have been a German Shepherd. It was massive. Now, it could be a winter coat maybe, but that I've not seen a coyote that big ever in my life. But about coyotes, what I say worries me is, and I tell all my neighbors this, especially, and I don't know if you know this or have neighbors who have dogs, man, I say, sometimes you just blink and you miss it. Holy cow. But, so what coyotes will do in packs is very different from what most will do, predators will do. So what they'll do is smarter coyotes, like those around cities, because they're incredibly intelligent, they're canines, so they understand canine language. So what they'll often do is go to a dog that's out on, in fact, like I said, out across the creek there. I don't want to move the camera again. I always feel like crows are laughing at me. But they'll mimic a dog's behavior, a playful behavior, tail up, do the little front, paw thing, hopping. And what they're essentially doing is enticing the dog to leave the owner, leave the area, come play with me over here. And once they get out about, to wherever the rest of the pack is, they attack and maul the dog and pull it away. So they can be very smart. And that's another thing that worries me about that coyote being here, is I know a lot of people have animals here. But even then, that winter, I wish for context, that is a massive coyote. Yeah, I hear you, Crow. Thank you. That's a big boy up there, too. Holy cow. Can you see that lump right in the middle there? I know it's shaky. I apologize. Crows are over there laughing at me. And now that sky, see, this is where just look at that. Yes, and this is the part of the day I love. But like I say, if there were not these clouds, not that it's anything wrong or bad or anything, it's just a blue slate of sky, But you see this, and it's phenomenal. And I'm gonna do a video montage, in fact, real quick. The sun's I'll leave it in the middle there. We're looking at all this other stuff. Coyotes and birds and crow. Ooh, there's that hawk. Where can I get you? My. Thank you, crow. I hear you. I can't get any good shot at him, but he's got that nice white speckled underbelly. It's not pure white. It looks to have either like a gray or brown mixed into it. Man, see, this is and the sun's coming up. Look at that. Leave it there in the bottom corner for now. I get this so many mornings, and I don't live stream. Those are geese up there now. But this is what I get up at 6 in the morning, 5. Sometimes I'm up at 4. I'm waiting for this, just the sun, come on, so I can go out. That crow's got a big old hole in its wing. I can see it from here. Ugh, sucks. I am in awe of that coyote still. I can't. The size of a freaking German Shepherd. Gosh. Did you happen to see in the video, did it catch him when running away at first, or did I miss that part? I didn't know if I got that. I might have to go watch my live streams now. Oh gosh, check this real quick. Look at that. I get mad at nature. Like, why couldn't you send these clouds right over me instead of over there? But I say it's picturesque. Man, I wonder what I missed. I have to do a little bit more praying to the cloud gods, I guess. And in fact, I don't. Let me see. Oh, absolutely, yeah. Um, if you, this is one thing I'm dumb about. I'm very uneducated outside of anything outside of my wheelhouse. I kind of prefer to remain ignorant about a lot of things. But what other oh, that was just a piece of bag. Because I think it was you asked, do I have like a clip or something for my cell phone? I'm like, no. What other options are there for streaming that where I don't have to? Because I would like to go out in the creek. Like I put on my waders, and I'll go out in the creek there and just walk, and I'll do it with my GoPro and record it. But I want to live stream it, and I'm not going to do it with my camera because the moment I fall, I'm dropping obviously my phone in the water. What other options are there for stuff like that? I've never looked into it, and I don't generally talk to people enough to ask. I'm just really thinking about that. Man, there's like seagulls galore this morning. And this is where I get frustrated because I wish I had 15 cameras because like I want to leave it right here, but one of my favorite things is watching the sun come through on that fields right there where you can, once I stop shaking it, maybe not the best view, but you can see between the trees the sun peeking through, and it's a lot more distinct than it is from this angle. If I watch it from over to where I do normally from the left, it's a lot more distinct, and it's really nice in the nicer seasons when you get a nice breeze and you can see it sway. It just reminds me of like that old prairie plains look with the the tall wheat. In fact, it looks like a sea of grass, so to speak, in that it waving like the waves. It's beautiful. Thank you, Crow. I hear you. Oh, that's a blue jay. And that's something I need. I guess I just, for me, it's not that big of a deal. There's so much going on. And the whole reason I do this channel, well, at least the nature side of this stuff, the channel, is to share this with people. Like, I talk online to people, whether it's doing isopods or whatever, but there's people who haven't seen snow, never been through what is a traditional winter, things like that. So I don't know how many people will see a coyote like that, bald eagles where they live. I'm really intrigued by that coyote. The wind's dying down finally a little bit. I really thought I was gonna get the coyote with Spanish. Nope. Do you no longer go there? If not, man, make an excuse. The only reason I ever hesitate or worry about going to things and places like that is I worry that I'll either be mauled by some kind of animal, or, you know, a landslide or avalanche, whatever the thing is. Like, I always worry about what the 1% of a thing that could happen is. That stinks. Sorry about that on both accounts. But man, I think that coyote's over there, because over to my left, over the creek, there's usually, yeah, that has to be. All the ducks and mallards and geese are flying away from down there. Let me see if I can. So off to the left, across the creek, there's overflow for when there's lots of rain, and there's usually creeks there, but all the ducks are flying away from there, and that's where that coyote was going. So now I'm curious, man, should we go take a look? Should we? Yeah, so even here, you know, like I said, that coyote is besides other people and dogs, the coyote is really the only thing I have to worry about in terms of a threat here. But I always am incredibly mindful of my surroundings, because I know what wild animals are capable of. And it's actually, I say part of what's unplugging for me personally is that even that slight threat as a Marine, and with my focus on, I say I have hyper awareness. Being out here is amazing, because even as I'm talking, I'm looking around, but I am so, like you talked about earlier, I'm actually, it's so in the moment, like it's all I'm paying attention to. I don't really care about online family stuff, all the other stuff. I'm just so immersed in the moment. So yeah, I may not want to, so I'm gonna go do that. But just for a little bit of context, I'm not going across the creek. Sorry about that noise. There's a good spot there where I can often see across to that spot I was talking about, where, sorry about the noise again, where those little overflows are. And if I can get a good look over there, I may be able to see what's going on. I'll do the best I can to hold this steady, but I apologize for that. Hear dogs barking across the creek. Oof. That's the second time I've seen the coyote here, and actually the other time was in the middle of the day also, but it was around 11 o'clock, and it was chasing a deer, but it was very awkward because it, to me, seemed like one of the other, like the deer was walking or the coyote was walking and stumbled upon the other one. And they kind of didn't know what to do, because the coyote's like, well, I'm not trying to hunt you, but you're running, and when you run, I want to chase you. And the deer's like, I'm not really scared of you, but you're chasing me. So I'm on these logs, so it's kind of bouncy. Let me get more up here. There we go. Sorry about that. Now you can see the frozen water there in a couple places. What you hear is 16 Mile Road, which is a major road about between probably 3/4 of a mile to a mile away. And again, I apologize, but I have my gloves on. Let me take this off. Kind of through there, you can see a little bit. There's more of that frozen water. I don't know if it's all frozen, but again, normally right now there's ducks, geese. There were a bunch of geese there yesterday when I was streaming. Let me try and shrink that down. The squirrel are doing its thing. But I saw groups. In fact, now I'm kind of curious if that's why the squirrels are in the trees as much over there. This is actually nice, this spot. Oye, coyote, ¿dónde está? Es Esteban. Correct. Or if you look out about 2 or 3 miles west, it's called Big Beaver Road. So please look that up also, because I'm not joking. It's in the county line is about 3 miles to the west, and at that point it's called Big Beaver. That coyote needs to brush up on its Spanish. I love that wood for my isopods. Just look at how lichen ridden that is and green. Oh, man. I gotta switch hands. This camera's getting a little heavy. Maybe the coyote understands Spanish, but it's racist against Spanish people. I don't know. I have to see what you just said. I missed it. But we'll keep it there. I don't know if the Freedom Hill is kind of more or less right across from where I live. In fact, if you're looking at that map, actually, you can probably see right, so north of Freedom Hill, there's an apartment complex right there on 16 Mile. And then, oh, actually the geese I see at least one goose. Let me see if I can. But there's an apartment complex north of the one just north of 16 Mile. Where did you go? Wonky little goose. There you are. I see you over there. And I'm kind of in that second apartment north of 16 Mile. I wonder if you can see me on Google Earth. That'd be kind of neat. I'm gonna go put the camera down and just sit. This is nice. I wish, I don't know if it comes out very well. I think I cut myself off. But it looks like the sunlight's just slicing through those clouds. I'm not familiar with. If you look up, goodness gracious. So I'm gonna share something with you I've been thinking about. So I'm gonna sit down and set this up. Ooh, those are some thick thorns. I did not realize those were there. Oh, if you want to look it up, I could look up King's Arms is the apartment complex I live in. Oh. In fact, I'm going to leave it like this. I'm like looking up a little bit. So, I mention a lot how I'm socially isolated, and one of the byproducts of that is something like this, where humans, we reinforce things by communicating them to other people. And the example I'm going to give you is there's a video game my middle daughter got to play. It's called Genshin Impact, and in it you have characters that are based on two things: elements like ice, fire, water, earth, and then their weapon. So to be able to play with my daughter, you have to get to like level 15 or whatever. And so I'm just breezing through the game doing my thing, and you have to fight certain bosses and levels based on those two aspects, the weapon and or the element. Now, when I got to be able to play with my daughter, she'd ask like, "Hey, what character? Where's Bennett at? Or where's Xiao or whatever?" And because I'm so isolated, I break things down into the way I use them in the absence of people. I don't know about Manchester, to be honest. And in that, I don't communicate well to people, and I don't retain information like I generally used to in my other life, because I don't ever need to remember one of the streets near me. And like with that game, I never had to know the person's name because it didn't matter to me. All I cared about was using them for the thing they're used for in the game, until I had to actually communicate that information to another human being, aka my daughter, that I have to say, now I have to start remembering these names. I can't just say the dude with the sword and the fire and then the chick with the ice bow, which is how I broke them down in my head. And it's something like this where I can drive these streets blindfolded, but because I've never in my life had to actually tell anyone, like, yeah, you go past, I can think of all the streets from where I used to live and had to do that. But in this new life of mine where I don't have to ever share anything with anybody or talk to anybody about anything, my information is compartmentalized in the way I interact with it, not the way other people have to, and it doesn't have to be understood by anybody else. It doesn't matter because it's only in my own world, so it's interesting like that. Let me see. Manchester. That doesn't sound familiar. And I have to sneeze here, I think, in a moment. What's eerie is that coyote could just be stalking around me right now. And I probably would be none the wiser. Let's see. Let go. Here we go. Here comes the sun. It's over. I hope I don't get demonetized. This is my meal ticket. There we go. See if we can get 2 suns for you. And I actually don't know many Beatles songs. I'm very musically odd. Oh, I thought that was something swimming to me. It's just something in the water. I don't like Led Zeppelin. I don't like a lot of what is more traditionally good music. And the music that I like are usually one-offs. So if I listen to a song I really like by some band, generally I only maybe like a song or 2 by them. It's very rare that I enjoy a band thoroughly. Camelot, that's the one. I know that one. I don't recall. Did you see that? I hope that was on the camera because that bird almost just flew into me. I forgot what we were even talking about. Did that show up on the camera? I miss CDs. You know, it's funny, just talking about the way things are today. It's funny how people got away from owning things like television shows, music, even video games on Steam. We don't own. People pay these things. It fascinates me. Like, that's one of the reasons I will not purchase things on like Amazon or any Netflix, because I don't even own it. They'll dissolve and my stuff goes away with them. Like, I'd rather have the DVD or the CD. It fascinates me that people do that. You know, they don't even think and question, like, what's going to happen when Steam dissolves and all my 150 video games I paid for are gone with that company that you think you own. I don't get it. I got to see that again when I get home. Let me know how that turned. That was just awesome. That was just, again, this has been a great day. I'm glad you're here to witness some of this tomfoolery that I deal with out on my walks. This is just one day, man. Maybe you're good luck. I got to see a half German Shepherd, half coyote. Almost got hit with a bird. And if you're really bored, I think you'll like my video. Look up Homie the Heron Strikes Back. Oh man, it stinks. Ah, well. It was up. Let me see if I can show it. Like in this little Y-shaped tree right here is where it flew in from. I don't know if it was up there the whole time, but that's where it came in from. But again, I was standing, so the perspective, now that I'm thinking about it, I was standing up and the perspective was a little bit different. Right now I'm kind of kneeling over the camera, or behind the camera. So I'm willing to bet that's what it was. And I would say a good 40% of the time around this spot right where I'm actually filming, Homie the blue heron will either be on this piece of wood you see horizontally or down on the mud bank below that, snatching fish. And I end up spooking him half the time. Or he spooks me. That short trill is that woodpecker. I can't get on film. Where are you? I hear you. Yes. So, Plumbrook is, the answer is yes, but no. Basically, what either happened was they built it as one unit, but ended up dividing it off, or they're two separate units now. So, Plumbrook is flush up against King's Arms, if that makes sense. And I think you actually have to go through my apartment complex to get through to Plumbrook, but there may be another exit out there I'm not aware of because I don't go that way. Oh no, this is now I don't know what they call it. This should be a branch of the Clinton River, but like I'm saying, so this used to be what was Plumbrook Golf Course, which is now I think actually across Shaner. Looks like they relocated, so now like everything here is Plumbrook. So it may have been called Plumbrook Creek like when it was the golf course, and it may have stuck. But I know this is a branch of the Clinton River. Can you hear that woodpecker up there? The trill, that little bat? Where are you? Yes, there is. Which I think, if I'm not mistaken, is Plumbrook, or was Plumbrook Golf Course. I'm just trying to put you on YouTube, bird. Sign the release. This is interesting. I feel like I'm being cyber stalked as I'm walking out here. If I was a coyote, I'd be hanging around all of this stuff and having a den in there. So in fact, so if you're at that golf course, let me do my thinking here. Go east to those apartments. Go a little bit further east, you'll see a creek. A little bit further east, you'll see those homes. And that's kind of me, where I'm at. What would really suck is if you had some drone with a payload on it. Oh man. I'm looking at this wood, and in fact, oh, those are squirrels chasing. Oh, there's a bunch of them. 3 of them? Sorry. Yeah, I'm right here, guys. Imagine that. Don't mind me. That would be a little bit more difficult because my 9mm wouldn't be that good against a squirrel. I feel like that bird now is just taunting me. But, oh, so my point was, so the way this wood is, I'm going to flip it, actually. So I will leave wood that I see for my isopods, and I'll stack it like that piece of wood there. But I'll almost always have it with the green part up. And I don't think I left these here. So I'm curious, what is going on? I feel like this is a trap, like the isopods or something set this trap for me, and under there there's like an IED. I don't even want to mess with this. What did you add? So you can concealed carry in Michigan. It's in here. It's called a concealed pistol license, a CPL. Man, these squirrels have no qualms about hanging out around me. And you just have to get it approved, and then it's every 4 or 5 years. I think it's 5 years after you have to get it reapproved. Now, I have not looked into constitutional carry in Michigan yet, only because I've never had to because I have my CPL. But I want to look into that also. The rules are a little bit different with that, but oh, I wonder. Nest. Oh, there goes the. Oh, come on. It's going after geese. Man, I hope you could see at least some of that. I don't know what's going on right now. That was awesome too. Now I assume it was going after a goose. I was just curious if it was getting chased by a dog. I know. I saw it. So when I first mentioned it, I saw it over there. And by the time I got the camera around and got focus on it, the thing was over here or over there. Like I say, that was quick. And what really fascinates me is, oops, that's a horrible thing I want to show. Looking at the ground. I've not heard of this happening. Generally speaking, coyotes don't do this during the day. I want to get my suspenders on and walk across and go film that, because that is interesting. Now I'm curious, did he get anything? I gotta watch where I'm going. Yeah, I'm gonna go back all the way over there and see what I see. This is freaking rad. Watch out for my trap. Somebody set for me. Am I zoomed all the way out? There we go. In fact, I'm gonna do this. Hold on one moment. Switch. I may not be looking exactly through the camera because I'm trying not to trip. I'll try to keep it in that general direction. You know what makes me happy is I was right about that dude out here him out here trying to get geese and ducks. Sometimes I'm so observant it amazes even myself. But now, like you said, I also need to be mindful that there's a hungry coyote. It's going down right there. Hopefully this video ends up a little nicer. I don't know if those geese were flying away at me or if he's got something over there. So I don't know if you can see anything because I got the camera up above my head. And I know it's obviously not the best view. Oh well, I'm gonna go up ahead. This really makes me want to put on my waders and go across there. Should I do it? Should I put on the waders and go across? I saw some message. Bear with me. That is just freaking awesome. This is where all that started. Let me see. So, what's my battery at? 40%. All right, so what I'm gonna do is end this stream right now, go put my waders on, charge my battery while I'm doing that, and then come right back out. So I'm gonna start a stream and I'm gonna guess 10 or 15 minutes. I hope you will be there. So I'm gonna cut this and go do that. So normally I would wait to say something, but I'm gonna go do that. I'll be back.